another CVIR series of Let's Krok About It, and our guest today is Dr. Mosconi, who published a very interesting study on the embolization of cholangiocarcinoma. This is an analysis of other studies. So, Dr. Mosconi, lovely to have you today with us. May I ask you, how many patients and how many studies did you include in your analysis on CVIR?
We obtained a total of 218 papers, a lot of papers. But then we started the evaluation of this paper, and we then 138 articles were excluded because letters or editorials or similar, and then 142 papers were included for the abstract review. Following the abstract review, only a paper, a good number of papers, was 102 studies were then excluded. So the final group of studies was 40 papers. But between these 40 papers, 9 papers were again excluded because they include a mixed population, cholangiocarcinoma, and the intrahepatic and the hepatocellular carcinoma, or because there are not very well reported the topic of our study, the outcome, the overall survival, and also the adverse events. So also 9 studies were excluded, and the final group of the paper are 31 papers.
How many patients in total?
A good group, and the total was 1695, so a good number. And it was for radioembolization, we had for radioembolization 781, and for chemoembolization 106.
Indeed, a very good number of patients out of the number of studies for a procedure that we thought is not that popular, but apparently it's getting very popular. Yes. So what were the outcomes? What did this paper show? What did your analysis show at the end?
At 1 year, we obtained a similar survival, but with a small differences in favor of chemoembolization. No differences for 2 years and 3 years. We thought that the differences at 1 year in favor of chemoembolization was due to the patient characteristics. Patients who perform chemoembolization were better patients than patients who perform radioembolization. They had better performance status. They had naive patients, so better patients. Similar results for objective response, very, very similar, and differences for adverse event. We showed a lot of adverse event, more than for chemoembolization than radioembolization.
Seen a little bit higher adverse events for chemoembolization in your studies. Okay, yes. Okay.
Grade 1 and 2, not more, but only a little bit 3 and 4, but more for 1 or 2, but more for chemoembolization. And it is the real practice. I think that chemoembolization is more painful for this patient. He had more pain, more. I think that this radioembolization could be better for this category of patients.
Of course. So after having studied this population, and this is very interesting because you gathered all the information that we have for intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma in terms of embolization. We see that there is some advantage of performing radioembolization, but it's still an area that is not established as treatment. So do you think that with this data we'll have more evidence to say that this procedure will be established for the treatment of intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma? Do you think it's enough?
I think that radioembolization for our clinical practice is better than chemoembolization. But I think that is not so easy to write a paper where we compare radioembolization and chemoembolization. It was not possible for hepatocellular carcinoma. So I think that is more difficult for intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma, for the low number of patients, for the particular kind of patient. So I think that it's very difficult to write a paper to demonstrate the superiority of radioembolization. I think that there is better, because also radioembolization is a very the cholangiocarcinoma prefer the radiotherapy because they respond better to the
more radiosensitive. Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think it could be better radioembolization, but it's not so easy to show the superiority of radioembolization than the chemoembolization. I think that you agree in our clinical practice.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing your evidence. This is really important for the management of these patients that don't have other options. Thank you for sending that to CVIR, and we hope to receive more work from you in the future.